Yeah, I mean, it's tough when, we're making good plays and then, we have a little lapse or a little miscommunication, turnover. We just had way too many of those. Yeah, definitely. Especially with 28 turnovers, kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Teams are going to beat you and stuff, but, when you look at that, it's kind of like we just beat ourselves.
Very disappointing. We came out with fire, came out aggressive, played well. You can't win with as many turnovers we had today. That's just impossible in the NBA. You can't win with that many turnovers. I just think some of those was just us. We was driving the ball, it kind of comes off our leg, making our normal passes, just not getting them through. It was just a normal day at the office for us, doing the normal stuff that we do, and it was just kind of the ball wasn't falling our way.
Celtics have a huge lead early, and naturally, they blow it. They lose 110-107 to the Raptors. This is the Garden Report on CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog. All right, I'm Jared Weiss from CLNS Radio. With me, as always, Jimmy Toscano of Celtics Blog, CSNNE, and Metro Boston, and Julian Edlow of WEEI.com and CLNS Radio. We're going to break this one down for you, and there's only really one thing to summarize everything from a Celtics point of view, and that are TOs. Eric. That happened a lot tonight. A lot of
That's
fumbling
another
of the
turnover
ball.
right there.
You kind of freaked me out there for a second.
You don't do that on purpose, right?
But
I get it. All right, cool, thanks.
Butter was everywhere, apparently, on these fingers tonight. I mean, we had Eric turnover, losing the ball. Jeff Green can't hold the ball, all that kind of stuff. More terrible puns. But they, pretty much every single player that handles the ball on this team had at least 4 turnovers tonight, Jimmy.
They did. And I want to
Great response.
Yeah, they did. That's what the numbers say. I want to credit the Raptors guards. I mean, those guys, especially Lowry. I mean, what a just absolute monster. On the defensive end, I mean, you're going to look at the numbers and see 35 points and be like, oh my gosh, he scored from all over. But he's, as Brad Stevens called him, a bull, and not just on offense, but on defense. Obviously, it's not all the Raptors guards. I mean, the Celtics did have some sloppy turnovers, and I know Stevens also said a lot of it came in the half court. It wasn't like they were pushing the ball up and turning the ball over in transition. Some sloppy passes. I remember one possession. I can't remember what quarter it was, but there was probably 13 or 14 passes, and the Raptors played good interior defense, and the Celtics couldn't get the ball past the three-point line, and they ended up passing the ball out of bounds. I think that kind of sums up a lot of the turnovers that they had in this game.
Yeah, it does. And talking about Kyle Lowry, he was getting picked up by Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart much of the game. Didn't turn the ball over once, which spoke volumes about him. And seemingly every Celtics ball handler had 4 or 5 turnovers. And that was the difference in the game. The Celtics got a lot of quality possessions when they were able to get a shot off. But when you throw the ball out of bounds, it doesn't matter.
When you turn the ball over 27 times, that, like the guy said, we just saw the video, you can't win with that number. And not only that, but when you magnify that even more, somehow you can actually magnify this number, because the Raptors never turned the ball over. No. They came into the game averaging 9 turnovers per game, and they only turned the ball over 7 times tonight.
Beat their average.
I think the Celtics turned the ball over like 7 times in a timeout. I think that actually happened somehow.
I mean, they average almost 7 turnovers per quarter tonight. They nearly quadrupled up by 1.
That's good math.
Turnovers. I went to elementary school, guys. The funny thing, though, is that the interior passing I didn't think was as much of the problem as a lot of guys dribbling the ball, dealing with high pressure from Lowry, from DeRozan. Lou Williams even played some really good defense tonight. He actually had one play where he played phenomenal defense on, I want to say, Smart, and he still got called for the foul on hitting his hand on the follow-through. Yeah. But Lou Williams, who isn't really known as a defender, is really known as kind of like a gunner scorer. I mean, they were locked in on the perimeter, and they did what the Celtics usually do to people, where they have a lot of guys that are under 6'4" that can really get into your chest on defense and can smother you.
Yes.
No response. I can't
agree.
believe I knocked him dead there. So let's go to the other side of this cup half full here. is the rebounding differential was plus 31 for the Celtics. Now, a lot of that had to do with the field goal percentage. It ended up being 51.3 at the end, but they were up to 68% in the first half, the Celtics were. So there's a lot more missed shots for the by the Raptors than there were by the Celtics. The rebound differential is remarkable for a team that rebounding is one of their weaknesses, John.
Right, and if you look at it, the big number that stands out to me with is the offensive rebounds. I mean, 17 offensive rebounds.
8 from Solinger.
Yeah, 8 from Solinger.
More than the Raptors had as a team.
I mean, there's a lot of those that stood out to me in the first quarter when the Celtics played their best basketball of the game when they were crashing. Solinger had a putback dunk in that quarter, and you don't see that many of those.
He jumped 12 inches on that.
Yeah,
one. That was huge.
That was a legit putback dunk right there. They were aggressive. They were crashing the boards. The shots that they were missing, which weren't much, they shot almost 80% in the quarter. They were getting the offensive rebounds, and then they were getting second chances on those. That can't stay. It can't stay like that. That's a number that isn't going to sustain itself. But that just goes to show that they do have that ability to crash the net like that and get those rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, from the box score, turnovers were just more important than rebounds tonight. The team that won the turnover battle drastically ended up winning the game. I mean, I would like to know the last time that a team out-rebounded somebody 55-24 it was and lost the game.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous margin, but like you said, it was because the Celtics came out so hot. They were hitting everything. There weren't many rebounds for the Raptors to grab, and then they just chipped their way back into the game with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan and made it work.
And Dwayne Casey basically said what you just said. He said he's been coaching for however long he's been coaching. He doesn't think he's ever coached in a game where he's been out-rebounded by 31 and still won the game. He says he has no idea how that happened.
I can't believe he's been in a game where he got out-rebounded by 31 ever.
Right.
Before that.
So exactly. I think that's what he's saying. He doesn't think that's possible.
Well, the thing is that a rebounding differential is really bad, but we've seen plenty of teams, including the Celtics, when they had those great teams, they were just about dead last in the league in rebounding. Miami's been the same way. I mean, a lot of great offenses and defenses aren't really that high in rebounding. Turnovers kill you more than anything in basketball.
Yes.
It's
in
more
in any sport.
Yeah, more than field goal percentage even a lot of the time. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you have 20+ turnovers and you win a game, that means either the differential is really small or the other team just couldn't shoot whatsoever. The Raptors shot 48%. They had a really, really good second half.
Yeah. And
Kyle Lowry was just pretty much perfect for the vast majority of this game.
And just an asterisk next to or side note for the rebounds is the Raptors were without their starting center and their starting power forward.
Fallon Poopy.
By the way, Valanciunas, blah, blah, blah. And Amir Johnson. So,
blah, blah, blah.
Tyler Hansbrough, I respect him as a athletic freak and a kind of energy type.
A psycho man.
Yeah, Psycho T.
Psycho T.
But he's not the rebounder that some of these other guys could be.
Okay, well, we're going to rebound in part 2 with a great performance for you. We'll be right back. Should have said it off the top. Like us on Facebook. The link is in the post on Celtics Blog and CLNS Radio. So like us there. Subscribe on iTunes. Tweet at us. We use #OnBoard to open up the Twitter bag, but we're going to do baller unboxing in the next part. So we'll save the Twitter bag for the next episode on Friday. Garden Report will be right back for part 2. Stay tuned.
Oh, definitely. Everyone goes through it. Everybody got to pay their dues to it. There's nothing you can really do. Just can't get too high, can't get too low. Everybody made a play that could have been corrected. Unfortunately, mine was in a very, very crucial moment of the game.
Were you looking for the pick to come over or something?
Yeah, I was. I was going towards the pick to Kelly and pick and roll and hit him on the pop, but I crossed over. He made a good play on the ball.